guys, welcome to my sort of live video. Well, it's on Premiere because I've pre-recorded this because I'm away all of May, but I hope that you still enjoy these videos that I am bringing to you while I'm away. So I'm going to endeavour to bring you a video every Saturday while I'm away and have them all scheduled to go live on my YouTube. So if you're watching the premiere and there's a red button saying premiere up in the top left, I believe, I probably will be in the comments. So please say hello if you're there, or if you're watching the replay, leave a comment and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It really helps me with the algorithm and YouTube pushing out these videos, and I love it when you do that. It means a lot to me. So I'd love to know what you think of this new range that I'm about to show you as well, because it is something new to Stampin' Up, which is exciting when Stampin' Up brings out something new. So I was trying to think of some content to share for this video, and I thought about mixing it up. So I had put out a question about what things people would like to see, and I got a few different responses, but I thought about things that I don't necessarily usually share. And I was also thinking about this new range that Stampin' Up are releasing with the new catalogue that is now live. Yay! And I thought maybe I should show how I would use it. It's a bit different for me, so what I'm sharing this week is a little bit different because it's more simple. There's no die cutting, there's no elaborate techniques. It's more about having fun and playing with some simple products. You don't need much to do these cards, which is sometimes what we all need. It was fun to play and put these pieces together without needing to pull in dies, punches, techniques as such. There's a few little techniques, but it's fun to sometimes just sit and do some of these things without having to need the kitchen sink. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because now I can share the inside of the catalogue. So this is the new catalogue that is now live. You can now shop from this in my online store, which is linked in the comments, which is very exciting. It's a very different type of layout for a catalogue, which is different but new and exciting. I really like it and I've gotten used to it now. But there's some different types of, what will I call them? Suggestions, like it's laid out so that there's a beginner section, so maybe you're just starting out. Or there's this section here, which is more the quick and easy options. So maybe you want to do something a little bit quicker and easier. You don't need all the bits and pieces. You could pack this in your bag and take it to a crop or a weekend away and still be able to complete these cards. So we've kind of got a beginning, a middle and an end without wanting to call it that way. So maybe if you are like me and love doing the elaborate, let's throw everything on the card, you're going to go this way and need the dies and all the embellishments and everything. But we're going to go with this bit. So this is kind of our middle. So we don't have the creativity kit and everything in the box where the instructions are there. You've still got creative freedom, but you do not need everything to do these bits and pieces. So this is called our mix and match range. And what it is we've got a bit of a story laid out for us here. So there's a couple of sets of cards and envelopes. These are 5.5 by 4.25 size cards, but because they come with the envelopes, they're already there. It's perfect. And then there's 4 ephemera packs. Now I love these. When I saw them at On Stage, I thought of scrapbooking. Because ephemera was a big word and a thing I used a lot when I was scrapbooking. So these would be perfect to utilize in your memory keeping as well. Then there's also a stamp, which is great. So we can introduce stamping in this. Maybe some basic inks, which you'll see me do in a second. Because these have beautiful, really basic sentiments. This is a great one to get even if you are not going to utilize this range, because it has very basic sentiments with something for everything. And then we've got a couple of different examples on this page. Now, if you turn over, there's a whole layout full of card ideas here, and it's kind of laid out in 3 sections. So we've got the cards and envelopes with the ephemera pack and the sentiments from the ephemera pack. So that's only using the cards and the things from the ephemera pack. Now this middle section has got the cards and envelopes, as well as the Ephemera pack sentiments and images. Oh, sorry, the first bit was only, it didn't use the images from the Ephemera pack, just the sentiments. So literally you're grabbing a card base. So I've got one of them here. So you're grabbing a card base and just adding one of the sentiments from, there is an Ephemera pack back here that is just sentiments. So that's super easy. Grab a card, put a sentiment on it, you're done. This middle one is doing the same thing, but you're adding an image from the Ephemera pack with the images. Now the next one is when you step it up even more and add some stamping. So using that stamp set, which I showed, which I also have here, this one here, you could add some basic stamping. Now, if I flip over again, I believe there's a couple other things that would be great to add in if you wanted to go even a little bit further. And there's these couple of basic stamp sets here. So if you wanted to take it even further and grab something else, there's a couple other stamp sets that would be fantastic. I really love this one because it's got some really quirky sentiments, like insert clever message here. I just think that's really cute. And I miss your face, that's adorable. So I'm pretty sure then it goes into the memories and more range. So there's a couple of really good products there. So that's the mix and match range, the new selection from Stampin' Up. So I'm gonna show you what I have. So I've got a few of the different, well, I have all the Ephemera packs actually, but because I love the idea of the Ephemera packs. They're quite affordable too. I think from memory they're 14, yep, they're 14 Australian dollars, and you get a whole heap in here. So this is the sentiment pack. Now, as you can tell, they are ephemera, so they're not stickers, they are die cuts. So it does get a bit messy when you start pulling them out of the sheets. So I would suggest, a couple of suggestions, is you can buy these stamp cases from Stampin' Up. This one's the one I keep my chamois in, so it's a bit dirty. But these would fit in here, probably without that backing sheet, but they would fit in there. So you could, I'm doing it really quick, but you would be able to fit, if I pull out one sheet. Yes, so that's one sheet without the cardboard backing. So they would fit nicely in these. So you can get a pack of 5 of these cases to store them in, so that once they start falling out and bits like that, they're still going to stay contained in that case, because they do get a little bit messy, as you can see. So this one's got all different sentiments. It's got ones that are a bit more scripty that you can pull out. We've got the words here. And then, as you can see, I've been really playing with these a lot. So there's some at the back that are a bit more like a bubbly font and die cuts, but it's very hard to show them like this because I've started playing with them. But I have got mine stored with the chipboard, and I may change the way I store them because, to be honest, it would probably be easier in those stamp cases. So I'm just going to pull it out and put them on here, but I have them stored in these clear pockets, which may work. I've just got to see as I play with them what works for me. I've been kind of pulling them out. If they start coming out of the sheet, I've been pulling them out, and like this one here needs to be pulled out, I think, because it's getting all tangled. So I'm not sure that, I think these ones would be better as stickers, but they still work, and you'll see what I do when I show you in just a second. Okay. Because this is just messy. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back into my envelope there. I might even pull them all out and pop them in the envelope. So then there is one, which I haven't played with these ones as much, but these are flowers. So without wanting to get too messy, there's really no easy way of doing it, but they're really cute flower images. These are beautiful. I love the black and white ones. So really, really cute. That big one's beautiful. So there's some gorgeous flower designs. These would make stunning, stunning scrapbook pages. I'm going to fiddle with putting those away later. And then this one is so versatile. This is must have. These are all different labels. So these are fantastic. I'm just going to show you a few. Love the blue and green ones. And then this one, these I have been pulling out because I've been using so many of them. But these are all different shapes and images, and they're really random, which is great because you can make cards for all kinds of things. Like there's even a cowboy and there's some cacti. But we've got a rainbow, a hot air balloon, there's a little cake cart thing, there's a cat, there is a dog because I'm going to do that in a minute. And there's some little sailboats. So they're perfect for masculine and feminine. There's baby cards, birthday cards. So if you get this, there is really something for everything. So there's 4 ephemera packs. You've got your labels, your flowers, your sentiments, and these images in here. So they are great. Now I am going to show you the ones I have already made. So I did get a pack of the cards. Now the cards come in a pack of 5 with matching envelopes for $14. So I've only got 1 pack, and what I've done is I've put together 4 of them, and I'm going to make one with you. So I have made this one, which I think is featuring, on the back it did say the matching colours of these. So I think this one's featuring crushed curry. So I made this one with a few different elements, including like the typewriter, a feather, some of the coffee cups, and a book. So I pulled in some elements from the flower pack as well as the images, and I have also used, I don't think I used anything from the labels, but I did use the sentiment there. Now on this card I also added a little bit of blending, soft blending with a blending brush in the background with some crushed curry. And I've added some spritzing from a basic black Stampin' Wrap marker. These are fantastic. They come in a single pack of just this one, and they are a great essential to have. So I've added a little bit of that to the background, and I did pull in some basic beige cardstock to put behind my frame. So I added a couple of extra things, and it's very hard to tell, but I've got some slight stamping in the background with the word yay. And I've done it tone on tone more as an element rather than an actual sentiment. Now, on my cards, I really do like to have an inside. You could stamp directly on the inside of this card, but I did add a layer because these cards are thinner than what I'm used to. So I wouldn't normally have a card that thin. So I did add a layer of basic beige and basic white cardstock, and I just added a couple little elements with some basic beige blending and a little bit of spritzing from my basic black marker on the inside. And that just gave the card both some extra stability and a little bit of extra something to the inside, because I really love to decorate the insides of my cards. So that one was fun to make. And these also have matching envelopes that match the cards. So the inside is a bit of a bolder pattern and the outside's more subtle. So that was the first one I made. And then this is actually another one. This was actually the one I made first, because this was the card design that I gravitated to the most. This was the Shy Shamrock color, and I had a load of fun. I used some Shy Shamrock blending on the back, and then I did the same effect with a little bit of stamping. So I used the repeated stamping as a design element, and I spritzed some basic black marker over the background. Now, a tip I have for making your die cuts or ephemera look a little bit less flat is adding some slight distressing. So I got the blade of my scissors or even my fingernail and just distress the edges of my ephemera a little bit. You can also use your bone folder to slightly curl up your die cuts, which I did here on the leaves, and that helps to lift up your die cuts so they don't look so flat. It's really fun technique to do just to make your images or your die cuts look a bit extra. Now, this sentiment here that I used was just white, and I added a little bit of the crushed curry, I believe, or maybe it was Daffodil Delight, and also the new colour, which was Peach Pie. I have to remember the names now. So that was a fun one to make, and then I also added the same to the inside with just a couple of the ephemera pieces to decorate. The next one I also added a layer of the basic beige because I found this card design really hard to work with. So that's the whole, it was like that. And I just found the things I was adding were getting a bit lost. So I gave myself permission to add a basic layer of basic beige and then add some design elements on top. I added a little bit of spritzing with a pecan pie marker and some stamping tone on tone with some basic beige. It just says hello in the background. And then another tip I have for adding these die cuts or ephemera to the card is using dimensionals, because what that does is helps to lift up the die cuts and once again helps them to appear less flat. So when you add these die cuts, quite often they're a flatter color because you haven't stamped them. I just find that adding different layers, dimension, a little bit of distressing techniques like that can really help to make them appear as a bit more than just a flat die cut on your project. So I did use a sentiment which I actually cut apart and used in individual word strips on this card. And if you can see around the edge here, I've used the blade of my scissors just to add some distressing. The last sample I have before I show you which one I'm going to create is this one. And this was a really gorgeous card base. I'm pretty sure this color is Azure Afternoon with some balmy blue. I loved the colors in this. So I just combined 3 of the ephemera pieces from the labels pack, and then I used this gorgeous black and white flower from the flowers pack and pulled in and this piece here, and I pulled in the beautiful bird. I've used a direct to paper ink pad technique where you simply grab your ink pad and flip it up and then just lightly drag it across your card. Now you need to do that very lightly. If it's a juicy pad, it's a little bit harder, so make sure you go really light. But what that helped to do was create some extra depth and dimension to the background by adding some slight layers of ink. Then I spritzed the background once again with the basic black. And I've also embellished all my cards with, so I did bring in an embellishment, which I used the brand new 2024 to 2026 in color resin dots. And that just, I allowed myself permission to bring in that one embellishment. And then I've added some Wink of Stella. So they're the 4 cards I made ahead of time. So today I'm going to make one with you, and I'm going to use this last one, which must be in the garden green and a bit of granny apple green on this one. So it does have the matching envelope here. Now I'm going to bring in some pieces which I have pulled ahead of time. So I layered some labels together. I haven't stuck them, I just layered them together so I could work out what pieces I would use. I pulled those 3 from the labels pack, and then I pulled these 2 from the images pack. I've also got a sentiment from the sentiment pack, which is just hello, and then I've got a little heart, and I don't know if I'll use these yet, but I've got some little stars, and they're both from the images pack as well. And then for the inside, I thought I might use these 2 pieces here. So that one's from the sentiment pack and then the ephemera pack. I thought of the balloons because that little doggy there is wearing a party hat. So I thought this could be a birthday card. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I haven't prepped anything other than picking out the pieces. But I thought with the busy background again, I may use a little bit of basic beige, which this is also a new colour to the catalogue. We haven't had this colour before, and it's just going into the basics range along with very vanilla, basic white and basic black. So we will now have this colour. Now I have cut this to 3.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm doing inches because these cards are in inches, or they're a imperial size, so I thought I'd just stick to that. Now I thought with the busier background, I thought I may just use the layer of basic beige. So I'm going to do what I have been doing though, and I like to pull my blade from my scissors. There is a take your pick tool that is also really handy and probably a little less dangerous. So I will pull that out while I am thinking of it. It's part of our attachments, and it's designed to, what do they call this? Perforate the edges of the cardstock. You can actually use that and just use that edge as well, just to distress. So that's another option if you don't like using the blade of your scissors. I think I'm just an old school crafter and I'm used to it. Now I'm going to do my favorite thing and just fold over the top right hand corner. And then just fold that over a little bit just to mess it up. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my favorite thing for these cards and add in some basic beige blending. So I love tone on tone. So when tone on tone means that you're taking the same color of ink to the cardstock. So I'm just going to pull in a scrap that I've got here. I've covered up my glass mat today, if you're wondering where it's gone, because I didn't want to get the reflection in the video. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blending, and I'm just going to do some up in that corner as well. And just focusing on those corners there. Okay, so that should do it. It was pretty quick and simple blending. Okay, now we'll do some more blending in a second once we've got this sorted out. I am going to raise this up on some dimensionals, but I'm just going to add a little bit of spritzing from my basic black marker. So I've tried to repeat my materials throughout the design so that I could show that you don't need much in your stash. So even if I'm using the inks, I haven't used too many colours. You only need some basics. You can definitely still craft without needing heaps of materials. Okay, so I've just put some Stampin' dimensionals onto my little piece of basic beige there. And I'm just going to stick it on a little bit of an angle actually onto my background. Now I've got my little pieces here. I'm pretty sure I want that one to go behind, but I think I'm going to add, once again, a little bit of blending. So this is probably the more advanced version of these cards because you can just whack a sentiment on the card and be done. Whereas I'm bringing in some inking and doing a bit more to these cards. So I just wanted to say that because you do not have to go this far with the cards. You can just stick to very basic techniques. I just love to do... I love to do a bit of extra on my cards. I'm definitely into adding lots of things, but you can still do that with just adding a little bit of distressing and a little bit of ink. You don't have to have necessarily lots of embellishments and supplies. So I'm just going to rip that a little bit like it's a ripped notebook edge. And I'm just going to stick these down. So I'm going to grab a little bit of glue and just arrange these. Oops. I think I want... Just trying to work out where I want things. I might stick this one up on dimensionals. So I'm literally designing this card as I go. I've done no prep apart from pulling out the pieces. I thought that I would just make it along with you and show you how easy it can be to come up with a design. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one with a little bit of glue. So that can sit on there. And then I'm going to work out where these pieces will go. So I can just sit them over the top. I want my hello to go a little bit over that way. Okay, now I'm going to pop a dimensional at the top of that little star ribbon because that's going to hang over the edge. I'm going to pop that in there. Oops, I want that down a bit so we can still see that corner. Now my little doggy there can go and do the same. So I'm going to pop a dimensional up the top of his head and then add a little bit of glue. And I'm just placing the sentiment there so I know that I don't want to cover up too much of the dog. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of colour to my sentiment, a bit like I did on the previous card example. So I'm thinking I want to bring back in the green. So I'm going to go with some, I don't know if this will be too bright, but let's just risk it. Or I could test some. This is me thinking out loud. Okay. Oh, we've got the balmy blue, but there's a lot of blue on the front. Let's just do it. Okay, so I'm gonna do, holding this down, I'm just gonna use my small blending brush and ink sort of the bottom half of my hello. Okay. And then to get a bit of an ombre look, I think what I'm going to do is bring in the Granny Apple Green. So I'm just sort of taking off some of that ink, and then I'm going to add the Granny Apple, sort of blending where they meet in the middle. So you're kind of getting two greens there, okay? How cool is that? So a really simple way to get a bit of an ombre looking sentiment. Okay, so because that is quite a fine, what do we call it? That's a lot of glue there. Because it's quite a fine die cut piece, I'm just going to go along with my fine tip glue bottle there. Probably added a bit too much. And stick that, probably didn't need to put glue on the bottom half, but anyway, I'm just going to stick that over the top. And then I was going to see if I wanted to tuck in a couple of these smaller embellishments. Okay. Let's see if I want to tuck in. I want to sort of have some poking out, not quite as visible. Can't decide if I like it or not. Okay, I think I really like the heart up here. And then I'm gonna stick this star up here, and this other little star is gonna go down here. So I wanna tuck it in behind that label there. Okay, then I want to grab my Wink of Stella, which I know that I have. Oh, there we go. I'm going to add some sparkle, which I know is hard to see on the video, but I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to his little hat as well, and maybe a little bit to the ribbon. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to embellish with some of the resin dots, and I think I might go with some of the, I think I like the Summer Splash actually. So I'll just decide where I'm putting them. I love to work in threes, so I'm just trying to decide where that one will go. Oops, I think I might put it down there actually. And that's the front of the card done. So really quick and simple. You saw how easy that was. Now let's do a quick inside. So I've pulled in a piece of basic white, which is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Yep. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of basic beige down here in the bottom right hand corner, which is what I did to all of my cards. I just added a little bit to the bottom right. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of my basic black marker, and then bring in these cute balloons and a little sentiment. This would be a really cute little boy's card as well. I'll stick, oh, I've got a bit of smudging happening there, so I might just pop that over the top of that. I've got messy fingers. Okay, so then I'm going to grab my layer of basic beige, which is cut to four and a, what did I say that one was? It's 4 1/8 by 5 and 3/8. I'm using my grid paper to measure. I'm not used to that. Okay. I'll just stick that down, measure that up, and then I just want to add a little bit of adhesive onto the inside, and then that can go into my card like that. And then it's a pretty little birthday card. So that's a bit fun. And then it has the matching little envelope, which I'll just fold over and do the score line there. So it has the matching little envelope to go with it. How cute is that? So that is the mix and match range from Stampin' Up, and they are really affordable. So the ephemera packs are only $14 each, and they would be perfect to scrapbook with as well. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of what you can do with this mix and match range. You'll have to let me know which one your favorite is. So this was, I actually did these 5 cards in about an hour, so it wasn't too bad. And that was doing a bit more than just sticking on the ephemera to the card base. I added a few extra elements to them. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Please leave a comment below and give the video a thumbs up if you can. I really do appreciate it. So I will see you guys next Saturday. Otherwise, I will see you over my Facebook page, where I am always posting new content. So feel free to go and like my page. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.